How's it going, guys? I want to talk to y'all this morning about a subject that not a lot of people like to talk about because, oh, well, I ain't got to do that, or that's just a suggestion, and that's tithing. Multiple times does it say in the Bible for us to tithe 10% of what we earn to give back to God for what He's blessed us with. But the particular scripture that I was reading this morning is in Malachi, and it's talking about, it's literally God telling you to test Him. Test me and see if you bring me your tithes. If I will not open up the windows of heaven and pour out blessings on you until you cannot store anymore. Now, does that not sound amazing? If I told you, if you were a thirsty person, and I told you, if you give me a nickel, I will give you as much water, I will fill up your cup until it overflows every time you need it filled up. Would you give me that nickel? Now, I understand that people are thinking about it in the sense of mathematics, and they're like, well, if I make $1,000, that's $100 in tithes. People, it's only 10%. You give more than that to your taxes. You give more than that to your stupid car payments. You give more than that to pretty much anything you do, you give more than 10% to. So why is it so hard for us to get off 10% of our purse to give it to God? You're not going to get anything out of this relationship with Christ unless you put something into this relationship with Christ. You're not going to get any blessings out unless you start seeding your blessings. And tithes have a purpose. Tithes are what helps the church run. Tithes are what helps the ministries that we have run. Tithes are what helps the outreaches and the trips and all this stuff. So without it, it wouldn't be possible. And people don't like to think about it, but church is a business. They have bills just like everybody else. They've got to pay them. And I don't think it should be the preacher's responsibility to pay all the bills of the church if the church has people in it. So I know this might be a little odd and a little bit off of what I normally do, but you got to tithe, people. You got to. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. You need to give 10% or you're not being obedient to God because He requires of you 10%. If you want to give more, then that's a sacrifice. But it's a requirement to give 10. Think about it. As always, love you guys. And have a beautiful, beautiful Friday.